warm welcome to all. This is Prabhakaran L. Topic is apply various types of attributes and its value type in document type definition. This is an assignment. For this assignment, how to create an XML document and how to add document type definition internally, adding the possible attributes for element and defining the various types of attributes. In this example, we need to create an XML document for an employee and adding relevant attributes for it, and also we need to identify relevant attribute types and its value type for an element employee. Here I have given small example XML document for employee. The employee who has company, look at there, the value has been double quoted. This is first attribute, which is company, and the employee ID I have given, which is second attribute, and name for an employee, which is third attribute, designation I have given, which is fourth attribute, and interest on, this is fifth attribute for an employee we have. We need to identify the relevant attribute types. Usually the programming languages, we need to specify the data type for declaring a variable. Here for identifying attributes, we need to do the same, that is identifying relevant attributes and its types and also its occurrence type, which is value type. Some of the attributes are carrying optional values, that is default values. Sometimes the attribute not necessarily specified, automatically takes some value that we have to identify. Here I would like to go for company, the first attribute. The company attribute, I would like to have fixed value for it. All employees should enter same value. Other than that value, no values are possible. In the sense I can go for fixed. This is what value type for an attribute. ID, we have to create attribute as ID, and as we discussed earlier, the attribute ID should be employee ID, so that it should start with any character like E101, 102, like this. It should grow, and these two values should not be repeated more than once. If you enter any value, that should not exist already, because the ID value should not be repeated. So none of the employees having the same value, they should have unique values. I should go for ID type for employee ID. And the first one is I have given C data, which is character data. Any values can be given for company, but the company also I have fixed type value. So I should give only specified like this ABC company or ABC Infotech. Every employee should enter only that value. Next, what I have, name. The name I need to provide NM tokens, because XML naming convention should be followed for entering name of an employee. There we should not give any special symbols or special entities, that should not be allowed. In the sense, I can go for NM tokens or NM token, both can be applicable, and its value type should be required. I have previously discussed the three types of value type for an attribute. It may be hash implied, it is optional. This value is optional. In the sense, you can go for hash implied, hash fixed. In the sense, only particular value what we have assigned while declaring the attribute with hash fixed, the same value should be entered by the user. So, this is fixed value the attribute will carry. Then another type, hash required. The hash required is mandatory. When I enter hash required for an attribute, it means that it is mandatory attribute. We should not skip that value for an attribute. We have to provide any value specified as C data or ID or NM token, whatever it is. According to that, we have to enter the value for the particular attribute. And C data, as I mentioned earlier. So, coming to the editor window, I can show you how to create. We need to create internal DTD exclamation doc type. I have employee, it's a root tag, closing angle bracket. So, in between this I need to enter the element details, employee. Suppose we want to have employees, in the sense the employees, then every employee can be entered, more than one employee can be possible here. So, by looking that, you can understand, if I enter exclamation element, in the sense it is employees, the employees who has employee plus notation I have given, it means that one or more employees. So, at least one employee detail should be entered. Then I am entering how an employee should be. How an employee should be. The employee, I would like to have employee as empty tag, and every employee should have the following attributes. So, attributes can be defined using @list keyword. @list space employee, in which what I have attribute @list employee has. Coming to this, these are the attributes I have. Company attribute I need. Company is attribute. C data hash fixed, the value should be ABC Infotech. This is the value I need for all employee. Then the way I need to provide other attributes for employee, company, then ID I have. ID we can go for hash, this is ID, as like C data we need to go for ID. ID, ID ref, ID refs. These are the possible data type for an attribute. ID, this is hash required. So, this is the way we can include all attributes. At list, employee has name, name of an employee. It should be enum token. Enum token in the sense only single word can be given. Suppose I have Rajesh space Shankar, Gopi space Chandar. Two words or more than two words in the sense better we can go for enum tokens, and you can have hash required. After this, at list, employee has ID name and a designation. The designation I need only like this, character data, any character data can be given, C data, but it is optional, not mandatory. Okay, even we can skip to enter value, we can skip, we can remove the designation for an employee. Designation, after that interest on. Interest on, if you want to have implied or fixed, everyone will have the same. In the sense we can go for fixed, otherwise we can go for required type or implied type or fixed type. Interest on, it is additional data only. So that what I prefer, it is implied. After this, I have closed all elements. I need to save this document, EMP. I have saved this document, after which I have to enter the root tag itself. If I enter, it shows employee, but before that we need to select, we need to include employees. So that is employees. When I add employees, automatically it has added the child elements. Actually, ID name given as required type, ID and name, only these two are required, so that it has shown these two, and others two are optional, implied I have given. Suppose if I change it as fixed, then we need to add value for it. All employee will be engineers. So I need to enter all employees as engineers. Look at that, I need to add designation. Engineers only I can enter. So this is the way I need to provide value for other attributes. Now I can have employee ID 100, E, that is employee, name Kirtana, then designation engineer I have given. If I enter or add space, then company detail I need to enter. If I have a company, then it must be ABC Infotech. ABC Infotech I have given, and if I need to change XYZ, in the sense it won't come, it still shows error. Look at there, it has underlined company with the value XYZ must have a value of ABC Infotech. So this is only the valid value that I have to obey. Even if I change the case, it won't come. This is only the valid value for company. After which I need to enter interest on sinking. Just I have given this, and all the details of particular employee has been closed. Then this is the way we have to give other details for another employee. Suppose I have given, after which I have opened another employee. It is possible. Employee ID, if I store the same value, then it will show error. Employee ID E100 of type ID must be unique within the document. So for the entire document, only one value should be possible if it is ID type. The name, Suresh. Then I have added interest on music. Then I need company, working for same company only possible here, which is ABC Infotech. If I have other than Infotech, it won't allow me. Now it is okay. Then designation, also if I want to change as sound engineer, it won't allow me because here I have specified only engineer. So I can modify this as implied. Then it won't show any error. I have removed that also. So my XML document, now it is right. I have tuned my document type definition according to XML document so that I can enter any value for designation. So these are two child elements for employees. So we have given employee for the employees, right? This is actually an XML document which is carrying employee detail. Now if you want to add any more detail, say for example, I would like to include entity references, in the sense that is also possible here. So instead of C data, we have to provide entity. So it should be in capital letter entity, entities. So accordingly, I need to include unparsable content, because the next concept will be having, which is related to entity reference. The entity is a shortcut, as I mentioned earlier. If you want to have entity, the entity is already we have defined predefined entities and user defined entities. For an attribute, if you want to add abbreviated text as an entity, in the sense it should be only through user defined entity. So this is the next topic we have. So thank you for watching this, and these are the references I have used, and please go through and you can prepare your own XML document based on the various attributes we have discussed. Thank you all.